Okay, so there's a lot of things happening with Nintendo at the moment. Perhaps predictably, none of them to do with Switch 2. Let's actually take this question, first of all, from supporter Tyrus1235. Good day to all the GF gents! Exclamation point. Glad to see another bespoke episode of the weekly show! Exclamation point. My question is mainly for John, but the other members of the panel are free to answer as well. Thanks for that clarification.
Mm-hmm.
It's weapons free, Alex. We're allowed to have an opinion. When will you buy and review the newest piece of Nintendo hardware, the Nintendo Alarmo? What are its specs? Can it run Doom? What about Crysis? Is it using a beautiful OLED screen? Or should we expect yet another LCD screen? Thank you for all the time. Thank you all for the time and hope you have a wonderful weekend and week ahead of you! Exclamation point. Well, John, you've been singled out here for your expert opinion, and I'd like to hear it as well. They've made an alarm clock. It makes Nintendo-style noises. Apparently there's some level of gesture support.
Wow.
What's
I don't understand. What?
Are you buying one? £90?
I don't know.
What?
That's
available for purchase by Nintendo Switch Online subscribers only.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
What a wild thing. I don't know what to say about this yet. It's a very strange idea. But to answer one of his questions, I do believe it could run Doom. I'm sure the SoC buried in this thing is perfectly capable of running Doom just fine if somebody's able to sort of break it open and access it, right? Crysis, no. 0 chance. But Doom, absolutely. It's probably not an OLED screen, let's be honest. Although it probably should be, because if it's an alarm clock, you actually would... I'd rather have that deep black contrast and ability to appear dark versus like an LCD backlight always glowing in your room at night, which sucks. But I mean, I need to see it in action. I don't really use an alarm because I work from home and I just sort of naturally wake up when I wake up about the same time every day anyway. So I don't need an alarm clock. So I don't really have any purpose for this.
So you're going old school, circadian rhythms.
Correct. That's the way it works.
You shorten and you just start waking up at 6 a.m. for some reason.
Pretty much.
Alex, I'm going to tell you about the features of this alarm clock, and then I want your expert opinion.
Alarmo.
Remember the Alarmo, John. That's so stupid.
It plays sounds inspired by Nintendo games to wake the user. The clock reacts to body movement by playing other sounds from the company's games. Users can snooze the alarm with gestures and end it by simply getting out of bed or by pressing a button. Alarmo can keep a record of the user's movements while they're asleep. It's slightly sinister, isn't it?
I know.
Some statements from Nintendo here. Alarmo responds to your body's movement with game sounds so you can feel like you're waking up in the game world itself. Set an alarm inspired by 5 Nintendo games, with more alarms on the way as free updates as they become available. Nintendo says users could choose from 35 scenes inspired by Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3's Pikmin 4, and Ring Fit Adventure.
Wow.
For the man who's completely uninspired by the Nintendo Switch, this must be like
this is my
scraping the barrel.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun for children. That is one thing I could imagine. If I had a child who was really loved their Pikmin or something like that, they could probably have a lot of fun with just making noises like Pikmin or what do. It's cute. But I actually do think they mentioned updates, so this thing is probably Wi-Fi enabled. It does sound
yes.
It does sound like a little bit like how do you call this? Like a GDPR nightmare? I don't know. Like what if someone hacked it and they have access to your body movements throughout your house? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want this necessarily in my house without a good Wi-Fi password and encryption, maybe. But that's really all I have to say about that.
What can I say?
$90, $90 £90.
£90 and $100 in the US, available in retail early 2025.
Wow. Yep. Okay, that's inflation. Okay.
I think if you're a Nintendo fan, you're going to lap this up. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. And then, if it's got a little sprinkling of the Nintendo magic in there, beyond some of this stuff. I think people would be quite happy about it. Um, but, it did sort of reminds me, because we did actually know about this earlier via some sort of FTC filing that was talking about its
Right.
Wi-Fi capabilities, and the sort of speculation surrounding about what it might be. And there's
Oh boy.
that was quite interesting, and it turns out to be an alarm clock. I think that's just fantastic, and it's so Nintendo. They just sort of defy expectations in a completely unexpected way. It's just pure Nintendo. I love it. But there was other Nintendo news this week. There was actually a sign-up period, which apparently lasted just 5 minutes. 10,000 slots available to test some Nintendo Online-related feature, which is going to roll out this month in its test phase. And actually, you've got a supporter question here. Lux says, "Hello, DF!" Exclamation point. Seems that Nintendo is testing a cloud service. Well, people think it's a cloud service because allegedly in the source of the web page, it was saying that this service is best tested in TV mode on the Switch, and it prefers a wireless connection, a wired connection.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that would have been strange, but
Yes, that would have been very strange. Which does kind of suggest a cloud service. Anyway, it seems that Nintendo is testing a cloud service, and my bet is it's going to be for Nintendo Switch's online GameCube emulator. It would only make sense. ROMs on GameCube have a much bigger size than previous emulators, and as it is right now, with the low internal storage on most, in brackets, all Switch models, users wouldn't be able to download the app if they add 10 plus games without the aid of an SD card. Maybe Wii could also be included. Well, I'm not going to rule anything out, because, as I said, Nintendo always defies expectations in the most unexpected ways. If this source leak from the webpage is accurate, it does kind of sound like a cloud service. I do think the Switch could probably emulate GameCube, though. We've got, didn't we actually cover some NVIDIA Shield?
Yeah, it works.
emulation?
So
especially with modern Dolphin.
absolutely technically could do it. I don't think that's the issue. I think what he's getting at.
Why would you stream it?
I think streaming would be stupid. I agree. I hope that's not what it is. But the way that the Nintendo Online services work is that it's a singular app that you load up, and all the games available for that specific platform are just in the app. They're all included.
Right.
So the app size is determined by the games available. With GameCube, if they do it the way I would imagine Nintendo might do it, it would just be a bunch of 1.4 gigabyte images jammed into that app, which would instantly require a ton of space, which the Switch doesn't have, which means that it would make if they kept the same interface design of having that singular app, that would make the GameCube very challenging, only primarily because of space as opposed to actual emulation. But if cloud is the solution to this, one, that sucks, but then two, thinking about it, I don't think the GameCube is even all that good of a candidate at this point for this sort of thing, because most of the best GameCube games that might show up on such a service have already been ported or showed up elsewhere, or you know what I mean? Like, there's not that much of a reason for this at this point, I would say. Like, what are you going to do? Wind Waker, Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime, all those games. They've all received modern versions, stuff like
Yes.
Star Fox Adventures. That would be cool to put on there, but that's a rare game. It could appear. Microsoft's played ball with that before, but Eternal Darkness, that would be cool, but there's not that many.
Eternal Darkness, wow.
So I'm not really sure what they would do with this, and I think Wii would also be difficult to just do straight emulation, given how that interface typically works. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it'd be that. I mean, they could do custom mappings per game, of course, but it doesn't feel that Super Nintendo like. Super Nintendo. It doesn't feel that Nintendo like to do that sort of thing. So I really don't know what this is going to be.
Well, let's talk about Occam's razor, which, let's be fair, Nintendo does.
I cut
often,
myself on it this morning.
Defy. It's basically, whatever you think the most plausible thing is, it is likely that. If you've got a space problem on your Switch because of the app, I don't think the plausible solution to that is to actually roll out a huge cloud infrastructure project. Surely changing the app and selecting what games you want to download is for a superior quality experience is the more plausible route forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this is. Apparently, the test is going to be this month. I mean, I didn't get in because literally the slots were occupied within.
What an odd thing.
5 minutes.
What if it's
of
the
launch.
Me channel, but it's streaming? They should bring back Mii's. Do they have Mii's? No, they don't have Mii's.
They show up in games sometimes, I believe.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great part of the Wii, the Mii's. I love it.
You don't need streaming for that.
I mean, what do you need streaming for?
Maybe.
You need streaming for things that the console isn't
For the
capable
dumpster
of.
to fill it.
The other thing, of course, is a streaming solution for a system that is inherently designed to be mobile. I mean, none of this makes sense. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what it actually is. Maybe it is something that it just isn't really. Maybe they've just been working on a cloud infrastructure system and they want to test it. Maybe they will put emulation on it. I mean, Antstream exists
For the future, maybe, if it were streaming, what if it was streaming of games? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like a subscription service Nintendo would do that would require streaming, and I really can't think of anything good.
There's
You
almost
guys
no
have already
purpose
talked
to that.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So never mind.
Okay. Well, look, the mystery shall be revealed at some point this month because the testing is happening this month. And well, we'll see what it's all about.
Maybe it's a play to reveal the Switch 2 and there's some kind of component we don't know about and they're going to involve everybody that's signed up with the Switch 2 reveal, even if they don't know it yet.
Like an I Love Bees kind of thing?
I don't know.
But Nintendo?
Exactly.
Wow.
I Love Bees? I don't know.
I love Mii's.
Sorry.
Maybe it's an elaborate alarm clock interface. Who knows?
True.
All bets are off.